Story 1: The Breath of the Nation. Talented people are the lifeblood of the nation. Welcome back. Have you ever wondered what truly makes a nation strong? Is it its fortified cities, its vast hoards of gold and silver, or its elite armies? Over 500 years ago, our ancestors found the answer in just 6 words. Talented people are the lifeblood of the nation. This is not just a saying, but a declaration of the value of human beings. Today, we invite you to listen to the journey to find the pulse of the nation, to understand why talent and virtue are the roots. After repelling foreign invaders, the country entered a difficult period of restoration. In a small village lived a young student named Min. Min was intelligent, learning quickly, but he always carried a great worry in his heart. One day, he met a wise man helping the court rebuild the education system. Min asked, "Teacher, our country has just gone through war. The treasury is empty and the people suffer. Why does the court focus on opening examinations instead of mining or forging swords?" The wise man smiled, led Min to a field in the harvest season, and asked, "What do you see over there?" Min replied, "I see farmers harvesting rice." The wise man calmly said, "Rice nourishes the body and swords protect the borders. But remember, money will run out. Swords without wise commanders will become a threat." A nation is like a living organism. Only when the original energy is strong will the body be healthy. Talented people are that original energy. Those with talent will know how to unlock the economy. Those with virtue will use that talent for the country, not self-interest. If we have gold, but no virtuous person to manage it, that gold will be squandered. But a virtuous person can create wealth from nothing. That night, by the oil lamp, Min studied not only to pass examinations, but to become part of the nation's vital force. He understood that every letter he learned, every moral principle he cultivated, was contributing a healthy breath to the nation. Conclusion and inspirational lesson: this small story leaves a great lesson for us in all ages. Talent and virtue must go hand in hand. Talent helps us go fast, but virtue helps us go far and in the right direction. A truly virtuous and talented person is someone who uses their intellect to serve the community. Investing in people is the most sustainable investment. Machines may become old, resources may run out, but human knowledge and character will continuously grow and create value new. Each of us can be a vital force. You don't need to be a great person to contribute. Simply doing your job well with kindness and a spirit of continuous learning, you are contributing to enriching the nation's vital force. Final message: a nation's strength or weakness, prosperity or decline, doesn't lie in its territorial size, but in the intellectual stature and dignity of each citizen. Continuously strive to become a source of pride for yourself and your nation.
Story 2: The Traveler on the Ocean of Knowledge. Life is limited, but learning is infinite. Have you ever wondered what truly keeps a soul young while the body ages? Is it health, or perhaps something deeper? The legendary Leonardo da Vinci held the secret. He once said, "Life is limited, but learning is infinite." In a sun-drenched Italian city lived Antonio, a master sculptor. He had just finished his masterpiece and felt he had nothing left to learn. Walking past a nearby workshop, Antonio stopped. He saw the great Leonardo sitting by a wooden basin, intensely watching the ripples of water. Antonio laughed and asked, "Master, why do you waste your genius on simple water swirls at your age?" "You are already a legend." Leonardo looked up, his eyes bright with the wonder of a child. He opened a weathered notebook filled with sketches of birds and stars. He replied, "I am not wasting time. I am learning how the world moves." The moment we stop being students, we stop truly living. Antonio stood in silence, looking at his own hands. He realized that his pride had become a cage, and his journey had only just begun. Days later, Antonio was found in the forest, not sculpting, but sketching the way light filtered through the leaves, a new fire in his heart. Remember, stay humble in your intellect, let curiosity be your fountain of youth, and always enjoy the journey of discovery. Today, whether you use a digital tablet or a simple journal, the path of the lifelong learner remains open to everyone. Keep learning, keep growing, the ocean of knowledge is vast, and you are its eternal traveler.
Story 3, to Diaries at the Rest Stop. Time is not measured by years and months, but by what we accomplish. Time is not measured by years and months, but by what we accomplish. If life were measured simply by numbers, then perhaps turtles would be the greatest masters on the planet. But we humans don't live just to survive through the decades. Psychologist H. Casson once left behind an observation that awakened countless dormant souls. A brilliant year of contributions can be worth more than a century of repeating meaningless habits. Today, let's listen to the story of two diaries to see that the true clock of a person's life is in the marks they leave. In a certain land, there was a strange library called the Library of Time. This was where life records were kept. One day, two men entered to submit their life diaries. Mr. Thin and Mr. Nom. Mr. Thin proudly placed a thick, luxurious leather-bound notebook on the table. He said, "I have lived to be 90 years old. Not a single day has been missed. I always go to bed on time." The custodian flipped open the notebook. Most pages contain the same words: go to work, come home, watch TV, and sleep. There were no marginal notes, no smudged ink from emotion. The notebook was thick, but its contents were surprisingly thin. Next, it was Nam's turn. He timidly placed a much thinner notebook on the table containing only 30 chapters for 30 years. But when the custodian opened it, a surge of energy seemed to illuminate the room. Chapter 18, Establishing a Scholarship Fund. Chapter 22, Learning to Rise from the Ruins of a Failed Startup. Chapter 25, Saving a Friend in a Flood. Chapter 29, Completing a Musical Work that Inspires Millions. Each page bears the indelible mark of dedication and the values he has created for the world around him. The custodian smiled, placing Nam's 30-year notebook on the great live shelf, while Mr. Than's was placed in silent existence. Mr. Than wondered, why, when I've lived 3 times longer than him, am I not valued more? The custodian replied, "Sir, your time is a long, dull line. This young man's time is a brilliant series of points of contact. He only existed for 90 years, but he truly lived and accomplished the work of 300 years combined." Don't ask how long you've lived, ask what you've done for yourself and others. A short but meaningful life is more valuable. Time only becomes an asset when it's transformed into action and results. Don't wait until you have time to do good deeds. Make every passing moment a reason to be recorded in your diary. You can't choose the length, but you decide its depth. Don't just count the years that are passing by, make those years truly worth counting.
Story 4, Two Lenses in a Painting Studio. Intelligent and good people always see the intelligence and goodness in others. Have you ever wondered, why is it that the same person, when viewed from the outside, is seen by some as having only flaws? While others see brilliant potential, we often think that harsh criticism is a sign of wisdom, but the great genius Blaise Pascal thought differently. He believed that intelligent and good people always see the intelligence and goodness in others. Empathy and the ability to see the good in others is not naivety, but the pinnacle of intelligence and compassion. Today, let's listen to the story of two apprentices to understand why perspective determines a person's stature. In a renowned painting studio of that time, there were two young apprentices, Luet and Nam. Both possessed excellent technique, but their personalities were completely opposite. One day, their master took them to an exhibition by a rising local artist. Luet, who always prided himself on his sharp wit, glanced over the paintings and scoffed. "Master, look, the brush strokes are too immature, the colors are too gaudy, there's no depth at all. How can this person even be called an artist?" Luet only saw compositional flaws and smudged colors, feeling clever for pointing out those imperfections. Meanwhile, Nam stood silently before a simple painting of a field at sunset. He excitedly told his master, "Look, master, even though the lines are simple, the way he captures the sunset light is so skillful. He has a very sensitive soul to nature. You can learn how he creates the movement of wind through these blades of grass." The master smiled, patted his students on the shoulder, and said, "Luet, seeing the faults of others only requires a keen eye, but seeing the good in others requires an intelligent mind. You see people as incompetent because you are using self-satisfaction as your lens. Nam sees people as talented because he is using a thirst for knowledge. As Pascal said, only those who truly have gold in their souls can recognize the brilliance of gold in the pebbles of others. Those who only see rubbish around them are essentially those whose hearts lack fragrance." Years later, Luet remained just a painting repairman with a cynical gaze, while Nam had become a great painter because he constantly absorbed the intelligence and goodness of the world to enrich himself. Vision is a reflection of inner self. When you see intelligence and kindness in others, it shows that you also possess those qualities. You cannot recognize something that you yourself have no concept of or experience of. True wisdom comes with humility. Truly intelligent people know that everyone has something to learn. Recognizing the good in others is the fastest way to improve yourself, sowing positive seeds. When you acknowledge the good in others, you help them grow and create a positive energy environment around you. Excessive harshness only makes our souls barren. Don't use your intelligence to be a judge judging the mistakes of others. Use it to be a gem seeker, sifting through the finest qualities in everyone around you. Because when you see the world in its brilliance and wisdom, you are the happiest person. Story 5: The Teacher and the Hourglass. The ultimate art of education is to awaken the joy of learning and creativity. The spark of true learning starts not with the memorization of facts, but with the ignition of wonder within a young mind. It is found in the transition from solving a problem on a board to creating something tangible with one's own hands. Too often, the pressure of dry textbooks and rigid curriculum can dim the natural curiosity that every child is born with. Albert Einstein believed that the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Story content. Meet Lam, a young boy sitting at the back of a sun-drenched classroom, his mind wandering far beyond the lesson on the board. While others took notes, Le was busy folding a paper airplane, searching for a different kind of flight. Then came Mr. Han, a teacher who understood that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. He didn't bring more books. Instead, he placed a pile of old mechanical parts on the desk with a knowing smile. As the sand began to flow, the classroom transformed into a laboratory of possibilities, posing a question instead of a lecture. Le's eyes widened. For the first time, he saw a puzzle that demanded to be solved, not a chore to be completed. He began to dismantle and rebuild, his hands moving with a purpose he had never felt during a standard lesson. There were moments of failure, adjustments, and reevaluations, but each mistake was met with a growing sense of excitement. Mr. Hand stood by, not providing the answers, but asking the right questions to guide Le toward his own discovery. Finally, Le held up his creation. It wasn't just an hourglass. It was proof that he could understand the laws of the universe. Mr. Hand's warm smile reflected the true success of the day. The lesson wasn't about physics, it was about the joy of finding out. When curiosity is awakened, the mind expands in ways that can never be reversed, lighting up the dark spaces of the unknown. This joy of learning belongs to everyone: the student, the professional, and the lifelong seeker. Because when we perceive learning as a privilege and a source of joy, we touch the very essence of what it means to be alive. The role of the guide, a good teacher or a good parent, is not someone who provides answers, but someone who knows how to ask questions that resonate with the learner's heart. Awaken the joy, embrace the creativity, and remember that the most important lesson is the one that makes you want to learn more. Conclusion: the journey of character and wisdom. Dear friends, we have just gone through 5 stories, 5 pieces woven from the great thoughts of humanity. Whether it's the teachings of our ancestors from the 15th century or the philosophies of world geniuses, they all meet at a single common point: the true value of a human being. We understand that we must become talented to bring glory to our homeland. We know we need to learn infinitely so that we never grow old in spirit. We learn to cherish every moment, to live deeply instead of merely existing. We choose the lens of intelligence and kindness to see the beauty of the world around us. And finally, we find happiness in creativity instead of burdensome pressures. A message for you: life is like a big painting, and every action and thought you have is a brushstroke. Don't just paint with skill, paint with your heart and mind. Don't wait for the world to change. Start changing the world today by the way you learn, work, and treat others. Hopefully, these stories will be a little spirit to empower you on your journey to conquer your dreams. If you find these messages helpful, please share them so that good things can spread further. Thank you for listening and for accompanying at Hoth and Vienne. May you always keep the flame of passion burning and a warm heart. Goodbye, and see you in the next stories.